Hey there, everybody. I hope you are doing well. I hope you are doing what you got to do to stay grounded, stay calm. I am taping this on Sunday morning. Yesterday, the 13th, we know about the assassination attempt on Donald Trump. Lots and lots and lots of theories around, everything from was it staged, was it fake, to what was it really and who's behind it. A lot of questions around that are still yet to be answered, um, and we're going to learn more and more and more about it in the days to come. The timing of it extremely interesting, based on the convention in Milwaukee that's about to start tomorrow. Just a lot that we're being faced with right now, you all. So more than anything, I want to say and set my intention going into this reading on Donald Trump. I just hope everyone is safe, that we stay calm, and that we tamp down the anxiety. That ultimately we understand this is a period in our history that is extremely tumultuous. But we are going to get through it. This is not the end of mankind. This is not doom and gloom. This is extremely serious, but we are going to get through it. And I think one of the ways that we'll get through it is through things like this, approaching it spiritually as well as factually, seeing the bigger picture, understanding some of the underlying dynamics. One of the things that I want to talk about, few things. I am going to go to Spirit and take a look. Was it staged? Got my notes here. If you know me, you know me and my notes. Was it staged? What's up with the Secret Service who didn't see this Matthews Crooks? It was a pretty clear, flat lying area in Butler, PA. So this building that he was able to get on top of, and then the snipers did take him out. Like, how did that even happen? So some questions around the Secret Service, which also plays into the conspiracy theories that have cropped up. Like, was this, somebody knew this was going to happen and didn't really try to stop it? But we're going to go to Spirit and take a look at that. Questions around, is this some sort of karmic issue happening around Donald Trump? This culture of violence that he's fostered, the whole Maga movement, a continuation of what we've seen ever since Jan 6, right? So is there a karmic aspect to this? I also want to take a look at the impact of this. Is it going to boost Donald Trump? Now I said in the title to the video, we've gone from, Maga martyrdom. We've gone from the mugshot to a bloodshot, right? The face that's going to be everywhere. So we've got that. And finally, I want to also look at whether this is going to impact his VP pick. I had some ideas. I was going to do a reading tomorrow, in fact, on what I thought was going to come out at the convention, what Spirit gave me. But I'm wondering if this may shift some things. So I'm going to take a look at that. All right, enough said. Let's go in. Spirit. Oh, and I do want to say, let me back up one thing. There's a lot that is being talked about astrologically about why this has happened, or how conditions were really ripe in the universe, in the cosmos, with the planets, because of the Uranus, Mars, and Taurus transit, and that was very volatile. We have seen there's lots of really great astrologers on this platform and elsewhere who talked about the potential for some sort of, like out of the blue violent episode, extreme aggression with Mars, unexpected happenings with Uranus. Taurus having to do with that, and makes me think about the tarot. Hierophant, our institutions, those we believe in, the people we have faith in, the things we feel are solid. Taurus, the bull, solid energy being blown apart, so to speak, because of events like that. So pay really close attention. I think right now, whether we're really avid followers of astrology or new students or experts, etc., but there is definitely an astrological impact to what's happening right now. And with Pluto in Aquarius for the foreseeable future, I think through 2043, the evolutions that we're undergoing right now, the revolutions that we're undergoing right now are not going to stop. So Spirit wanted me to mention that as well, for myself and sharing that with you. I think we would all do ourselves a service to stay on top of things astrologically, because the thing here too is that these predictive arts are only predictive, or very often predictive, to the extent that they show the possibilities of what can happen, not hard and fast fate. So the conditions were ripe based on, and now if you go back and you see many astrologers who were talking a couple of weeks ago, posting, or even earlier this year, that were posting this incredible transit that was happening, this Uranus and Mars in Taurus. They were saying this is ripe for something, but who knew? We didn't have a looking glass to actually see Butler, PA, and Trump on that stage, etc. So just think about it that way. It helps us see tendencies and probabilities and to heighten awareness, but it doesn't always give us the hard and fast. Here's on this day at this time, here's what's about to happen, right? We all have free will. There's fate. Thomas Matthews Crooks, 20 years old. Wow. All right. Was it staged, Spirit? Let's go in. Let's start with that. Was the shooting attempt, the assassination attempt, was it staged? I feel like I know the answer, based on the fact that other people were harmed, but I got the moon. There are aspects to it, interesting. It says, I'm using the Godfather Tarot, by the way. There are aspects to this that will come to light. There is more than meets the eye with this situation. And that will come to light. There will be, with the moon, there will be insights that are both worrisome and relieving, because we will get certain answers, but then there also, because there still will be so much speculation, that's going to be an issue as well. So we got to keep our heads on straight. And look, I just looked down and saw it even says, look at that on the side, crises of faith. Wow. Isn't that apropos? All right. So no, not staged, but also not all known. There are things about this that are going to continue to come to light. The Secret Service, the lapse in the Secret Service, Spirit. What was that about? Is there going to be some fallout? Some, as they say, the proverbial heads rolling, because the Secret Service, the sniper did react, but certainly not before some lives were taken and injuries, not just to Trump, but we know that someone actually lost their life, and a couple of others were critically injured. We're also still hearing now, people are coming forward about bullets grazing them, etc. So when this started, there were a lot of, it wasn't even real. It was a paint gun or it was a BB gun. No, this was a rifle. We found that out. We have the King of Cups. That's Biden. This is really, for all of the no love lost between Biden and Trump, this has really upset Joe Biden in terms of the idea that this is where we are at this point in our history. That, hearkening back to the 60s, Kennedy and Martin Luther King, or more recently the attempt on Ronald Reagan, Biden was around for all of that. And I think it even says on here, I want to show you the key words there, warm-hearted and loving. This has truly upset him, not just because of how it may impact the race, but he also understands that he is also under greater threat now. Not that he hasn't been, but this raises the stakes for everybody. So that's a part of it as well. And talking about the Secret Service aspect, Secret Service for him is going to be on, for Trump as well, but also for Joe Biden, the Secret Service is going to have to really step up its game, because there's some heads that are going to roll. There was something, how this guy got on in such a clear area, how he got on a building. We understand that there were people who alerted law enforcement. They saw him, and so how he was not taken down prior to even being able to get in position to fire off several rounds like that. There are heads that are going to roll, and Secret Service is going to have to double down, and we're going to see a lot more local law enforcement, military presence perhaps even, or certainly local law enforcement agencies, wherever town, wherever campaigning is happening, is about to go through the roof. All right. Was there a karmic tied to this spirit? With all of the violent talk and all of the vitriol and all of the stuff that's come out of the MAGA movement and the call to violence, the constant calls to violence, was there a karmic aspect to this? Was there something that spirit is showing us, that the universe is showing us? You got it, magician. It's like, they always say be careful of your words, right? That thoughts become things and our words carry power. And this is something that, astrological aspects aside, this is something that spirit, from a higher level, spirit is saying, you reap what you sow, Woo! And there's the Fool, just flipped over as I was trying to shuffle. The Fool. This is, and the Fool is ruled by Uranus, by the way, right? And the Magician is ruled by Mercury. So there's an instability there. There's a things moving quickly, changing quickly, and in terms of karma, that's my question here. Is there a karmic aspect to this between the Fool and the Magician coming together, you all? This is saying there's a couple of things happening here. One, it can be a call from higher realm, God, source, however you identify, to do things a different way, that we must go down a different path. That we are being pushed and urged to go down a different path. But also, when the Fool is in a negative aspect, it can relate to foolish behavior, unnecessary risks. And that Magician, I think I keep getting an image of the words that have been spoken have brought about these abrupt, Uranus-like harsh changes, because it's calling Trump and company, Maga, etc., and even those on the left who are angry and frustrated at this point, to really be careful of the language that we're using, and media has been atrocious, and increasingly so over the past couple of weeks after the debate, right? There's a call to be extremely careful of how things are worded, and to not go off the proverbial cliff with that. So yes, there is a karmic aspect to that. I also, I'm seeing flashes of him. Remember, when Trump got up, when the Secret Service covered him, and then they got him up, what did he start doing? Pumping his fists and saying, fight, fight, fight. Like the violence, fight. Not, I'm okay, I'm safe, thank you. Fight, fight. You could see his face. He's mad. He's angry. Like, there's so much. And again, that leads to the karmic aspect of it, because I think he's gonna use this. I mean, it ain't about what I think. Spirit is like, let me pull. Because that does leave, my next question was the impact of this. So now we got him bloodied mugshot. Now, I mean, we had him in the mugshot before in Georgia, from the indictment. Now we've got it, the bloodied face with the flag in the background. Is this going to is he going to use this to play the martyr? We already know the answer, right? Was Donald Trump going to use this to play the martyr and boost his image as the savior of, I took a bullet for you, America. I took a bullet for you. Justice. It's exactly what he's going to do. It's exactly what he's going to do. In the craziest way, this is going to further delay his trials, and there's almost a sympathy that is being directed at him, not just in the MAGA faction. I'm not sure where that's coming from. That's just what Spirit is giving me. It almost feels like there are maybe this filters into some independent voters or others, but there's some sort of gravitational pull based on people's emotions and heartstrings that's gonna shift some people perhaps in his favor, at least in the short term. The Knight of Swords, yes, they're going to capitalize off of this every way possible. We will see the merch. We're going to hear more and more from him about, I told you all, I'm here for you. I won't back down. I've taken the bullet. I've been maligned. I've gone through the courts, like everything imaginable. Strong opinions. Yeah, the five of wands, and notably in this deck again, it's the Godfather deck. There's those bullets coming out of it looks like a megaphone there, and that's the arguments that are going to be made. There's going to be so much vitriol behind this, you all. We already had J.D. Vance, the usual, going to talk about him as a VP pick in a moment, but Marjorie Taylor Greene, Boebert, all of the hard right folks have already come out trying to put this on Biden or put this on the radical left, and he's going to play into that as well. This will not change. This what could have been truly so much worse for Donald Trump. You would think that maybe it could be a wake-up call for him karmically, but it ain't. There's the sun. He sees this as a win. He sees this, and many of those who are with him, you all, see this as a sure path to victory in November. That's what this is, a sure path. This, for them, is going to put him over the top. That he will use this to his advantage. Interesting. Really, really interesting. Really sad. Okay, VP pick. There were some, I have been feeling, and Spirit's been leaning me more towards J.D. Vance because of his swaggering MAGA Max sort of attitude. Tim Scott, useful with the evangelicals. Doug Burgum, useful with the money aspect of it. But not necessarily in temperament or appeal. Marco Rubio, useful for the Hispanic and Latino vote. Also, perhaps because he could argue forcefully against Kamala Harris. So there were reasons for all of them, but I am wondering, I'm going to ask now, Spirit, please show me how this will impact Donald Trump's vice president pick. And will it be J.D. Vance? Will it be J.D. Vance out of Ohio? Because of his MAGA, macho, toxic masculine stuff. Will Donald Trump name J.D. Vance as his running mate? The Knight of Wands, well, that's him. That's Vance. Talking, he's already out there inciting more violence with his, his rhetoric about this was all some sort of machinations, from the Biden administration. Ace of Wands. I'm tempted to go at this time with J.D. Vance, and time is ticking. It's going to happen soon. I'm going with J.D. Vance and the Lovers. It's his choice. I mean, none of them are a picnic, but as far as Tim Scott with the evangelicals, Donald Trump has already sort of, got them looking at him a little sideways with the whole stepping back from Project 2025 and the abortion issue, gay marriage issue. A lot of people have been asking me, we know Melania just hosted the Log Cabin Republicans gay sect, but that's not the first time. She had a fundraiser for them in New York. She also did something with them in Florida a couple of weeks ago. She's in with them, and I think that's another reason why we've seen Trump not necessarily come out or try to ease up off the gas a little bit with regard to gay marriage. And now so he wants to keep the woman's vote or try and garner more of the woman's vote. So softening his stance on abortion, that I think is a little harmful with the Tim Scott evangelical part of it. Doug Burgum, the money, out of North Dakota, the money guy, millionaire. That was really prevalent during some of the previous months, recent months, because of the cash crunch that he was in. But I don't see Doug Burgum, the Four of Swords, and there's a stalemate there. Yeah, he's stuck. See, it says stalemate. Yeah, Doug Burgum, I think, is getting a little lost in the sauce. Marco Rubio with the Latino vote. That, if it wasn't J.D. Vance, I was feeling about a week ago, some real strong leanings towards Marco Rubio, not just because of the Latino vote, but because of the Senate experience and someone who could potentially be very strong against Kamala Harris. Marco Rubio, the moon. Something not seen there. If he is not VP, he's in line for something. Attorney General, something. Cooperative effort and teamwork. Yeah, he's the Three of Pentacles. He's in there some kind of way. Marco Rubio is definitely in there. And if it's not as a VP pick, it's definitely some high-ranking part of what he is planning and intending, Trump is planning as his administration. So yeah, he's in there. I think Burgum and Scott are kind of drifting by the wayside. Ooh, something just popped out and I got the Magician again. So yeah, a lot of this is like hat tricks, right? But yes, there's J.D. Vance. At this point, it looks like J.D. Vance and Marco Rubio are the two that Trump feels are most useful to him. I think in the wake of this shooting, there's something about J.D. Vance that tilted a little bit because he's going to really fire up and continue to fire up that Maga base in a way that I think Marco Rubio could not. J.D. Vance is also substantially younger, only 39 years old. So he's going to appeal to a certain swath of Magas and would-be Magas, those that are potentially leaning into that. And I got the Five of Swords, loss and sadness. You know, somewhere down the line, and it feels like it's going to be sooner rather than later, there are going to be people, and there's the Hierophant. I knew it was coming. This is a belief in our government, in our institutions, what we have faith in, what people have had faith in. But he is being raised to that level, and I think that loss is saying people losing their way, losing their feeling like they're losing a grip on control over what is happening in America. There's going to be more of a sense of despondency, but that's why the Magician and the Hierophant are here, you all, because he's going to try and position himself more and more as that person who can hold it all together, that figure of martyrdom / leadership. So this is really, in some twisted way, you all, it's going to be a boost for him. I still do not think, Spirit is saying I can't end it on this note. Will the Democratic Party pull it out? And I may read on that almost every political reading that I do in the foreseeable future, because again, this energy is fluctuating. We did not see this happening in the wake of the debate. We didn't see this coming, and that's where we have to stay on top of it. Will the Democrats win in November? Despite this. He's been handed, I almost feel like a silver platter. He's been handed another boost for himself on a silver platter through this. No remorse, didn't learn a lesson, fearful, but will never show it, because he feels like he has, and he will have, even more protection now. He's going to be covered in, and bowed to in all aspects. So there's that. Will the Democratic Party emerge victorious in November, Spirit? Will the Democratic Party emerge victorious? Will we win the election? Will Biden be elected? Or Kamala Harris? That's not off the table. I'm still feeling Biden's hanging in there, but it's not off the table that might change between now and August. But either way, will the Democratic Party win? Two cards just came together. We have heightened anxiety, 9 of Swords, and Judgment. Second chances. I think so. I think so, you all. I still see it. Because the heightened anxiety is clearly what we're undergoing right now. But the Judgment is ruled by Pluto, by the way. I think it's, but see, it says here second chances, and that is a meaning of the Judgment card. He will be given the Democratic ticket, will win a second term, whether it is Biden at the helm or not. I think the Democrats are going to come ahead, because they're going to continue to relate the Project 2025 issue and the violence. This violence, and people want stability. 4 of Pentacles. People want stability. The violence has got to stop. The violent rhetoric, the violent attitude, the hatred, it's got to stop. So please give me one more confirmation, Spirit. Will we win in November? Will the Democratic Party win in November? The High Priestess. The Devil. It's going to be, okay. Once again, they're not going to go away quietly. After the win, they're going to contest it. They're going to say, there were votes that were stolen, blah, 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 blah. But ultimately, when all of that is done, so even into December, January, there's going to be a lot of confusion about it, a lot of pushback about it, about the win, about the Democrats winning. But after that, there's celebration. Thank you. Yeah, there's celebration. People are going to say enough is enough. All right, you all? That's what I got. I'll be back soon. Please stay safe out there. Tamp down the anxiety. Breathe, believe. That breathe and believe, right? We're going to get through this. And we cannot continue to, react in anger or fear or frustration. It is extremely unfortunate, but we are vote. Vote, 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 vote. And that is the way that things can change and get us back on course. It's going to be a process, but we'll get there. All right, you all? Take good care. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.